Hey everybody, it's Kyle and
Troy.
He has to set up the video, so
Someone's got to run these.
man, I'll tell you.
That's right.
He just lets me talk. That's
do all the tech work here.
Yeah, you do the hard work. I just get to talk. So,
Hey, we're talking today, Kyle. As you said to me, I want to tell these people about swimming in the lake.
well,
So you did the giant lake swim here in town.
I made it more. Excuse me. I made it a little more giant than I had to because I discovered I can't swim straight. The start
Going the extra mile.
Actually, it was an extra half mile.
Half mile.
The start off was pretty easy, and you were there. You posted some videos of it. We started to see well, but everybody else gets to like walk or run out, and I go, oh, that ain't gonna happen. So I started swimming and got the bright color caps, and we're aiming at an island, which is I don't know, half mile away with the big house on it. But every 40 or 50 strokes, I was taught by swimmers that you count your strokes, and I guess that's more for people in the pool to do the flip turn. But I've been counting my strokes because that's the way my brain works. So every 40 or 50 strokes, I look up and I see the White House, except I realize it's not the correct White House. So
Not the White House.
no, it's not. Well, not that White House either.
Okay.
But the White House.
It's a long swim.
So I kept veering off here and had to, reassess and get back in line. And once I got to the island, one of the lifeguards from the Y Center, they're in kayaks, being, watching us.
Sure. Someone's got to keep you roped in.
That's exactly what happened. She kind of just got on my left-hand side and said, Kyle, I'm just going to herd you over here. And got around the island, and then you're swimming back towards the beach, and all of a sudden the sun's right in your eyes, and it's like, I can't even see the land.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm all distracted now, right? Because I can't stay focused. So, the White House. Could you swim to the White House from here? How many, we have to think about that. Now, that'd be a show. Kyle,
you do, if you do the Ohio River to like Allegheny,
this has nothing to do with
you might end up with the Potomac. But I did realize that I had been warned, and you have a little seaweed, and the swimmers that have done it before me call them furry snakes or fuzzy snakes, and you grab them. But I found out where they get birthed.
Oh,
because I go around the island, I'm thinking I'm far enough away, but like right through the bed of them, and they were all grabbing a hold of me, and I was like, oh man. So lessons learned for next year.
Yeah, for sure. All right, so back to the purpose of our conversation. I just was I'm like, maybe you could.
It's a big White House on the island, so it's the White House.
Of course, absolutely. But you were not swimming to the right White House.
I kept going left, and I did realize that, having aim point that far out, it's a little more difficult. But lessons for next year that
maybe these guys would like to see you swim in the ocean.
Too much salt, too many waves. Well, after we turned, came around the island, I'm swimming into the sun. The county sheriff water patrol was out there, so they have their little flashing red and blue lights. So I've got the kayaker on my left, and I'm following the sheriff's patrol, and I'm just hoping he's going to the beach and not going over to the boat launch. But turns out that what I expected to be around 2,000 strokes for 1.15 mile. It was closer to 2,800, so I figured I did a mile and a half with all the extra. But finished. Didn't finish last overall. Did finish first in my class. I was the only amputee, so did get a medal, which was kind of cool. And lessons learned for next year. So it's like, it was a challenge, and I completed it. Now I challenge myself to do better and faster.
How do you think, with your getting involved in that, do you think that maybe we can convince some other local, semi-local people to jump in the swim next year?
I would hope so. I mean, I want more able-bodied swimming, not amputees, because other amputees.
You don't want to have.
I don't want to compete. I'm the only one in my class.
All right, so we're not going to try to get.
If there's another adaptive athlete and the
I just thought that might be like people would go, look at him go.
Well, they have folks that come up from Indiana. I mean, this was the 97th year they've been going to Lake Swim, so I got to do at least 3 more years. Well, 98, 99, 100.
Yeah.
But then,
and then when you start swimming backwards?
Well, I could always do the backstroke.
Bring it down from 100.
No, actually they keep going up. But see, there were 6 people and able-bodieds that were either 70 or higher.
Oh, wow.
Did the swim.
So I got a few more years and I could join.
But 6 of them beat me.
Oh, no.
So I got to train harder.
Oh, yeah, we got to do better.
I got to train harder and do better.
Sure.
Nothing against those folks because they've been doing it for a few more years. But,
absolutely.
But it's a challenge. And the support staff is great. The other swimmers are great. Something I, even as an able-bodied, I never thought I'd be able to do. So the challenge is find something that challenges you that you enjoy doing. And I've realized that swimming, I kind of like, you know, swim in the pool, I'll swim in the lake, swim a mile and a half. And now there's another swim in the state of Michigan over towards the east side that has anything from a half mile up to a 15K, so 9 miles.
9 miles.
Yeah, that's for the high school swimmers.
Holy
the college
cow,
swimmers, not
that's serious.
you know, but they do have a 3 mile, and I'm thinking I just swam a mile and a half.
Okay, you could do 3 if you knew you were going to do it.
Well,
you like 3? It'd be almost 4 for you.
Probably, unless I learn how to swim straight, you know. But I figure I did the mile and a half in an hour, so 3 miles would be 2 hours. And back when I was able-bodied, I did a couple of half marathons that I ran for 2 miles. So,
see, now you said something that's interesting. Even as an able-bodied before, you didn't know that you would even be able to do that. I mean, that's a long. That is a long pool swim. Forget about the lake swim aspect of it.
You lose count.
That's a long way.
Yeah, you lose count.
And
you lose count.
So that's pretty impressive.
Well, it was a challenge, and I had a lot of support from the folks at the Y Center, from you, training with you, and a little hard-headedness in me.
Well, these guys don't like to give you too much credit, but you deserve a lot of credit in this one. Because that's impressive.
It's difficult to accept it because I never look at that, but yeah, it was something that not a lot of amputees do. I mean, the staff from the Y Center here in town, can't recall any amputee doing it. I'm sure over 97 years somebody has.
I made the claim in an earlier video that he was the first amputee ever to swim, and he corrected me.
Probably the first hip disarticulation, you know, all the way up. But, you know, hey.
I still say the first, because nobody knows. Nobody's ever heard of the other one doing it, or another one.
Well, maybe somebody from the state of Michigan knows another amputee that over the last 97 years somebody did it. So that'd be
I'm going to spend the next year recruiting amputees to compete with you.
Cool.
Give you a challenge.
Bring on I already got some 70-year-olds and some 13 and 14-year-old kids that are doing a mile plus. It's like, wow, that's impressive.
That's right.
So they're my inspiration. It's like, okay, you guys can do it. They're going to get faster. I got to get a little faster, but they're still going to beat me. But I figure if I can improve my time, that's all that matters. You compete against yourself.
Well, this is the most important thing. Yeah.
And try to swim straight.
That's a challenge.
And there might be some other folks watching this that are adaptive athletes that swim, and maybe they have some insights, hey, like, try this or try that. All I know is that I just got to find my aim point and just aim better. Because where I train, it's about 110 yards, so my aim point's only 110 yards away, and I turn around. When my aim point's, half a mile.
Half a mile, that's...
It's just... it's a challenge to get better next year.
And that's like they always talk about, like a plane, if it's just off a little bit, and how far over time. So that's the thing with the swimming. If it's 110, you're not going to drift that much. Yeah. But a half a mile, holy mackerel, you could be way off.
Well, added an extra half mile to my swim.
That's a lot
based on my stroke count.
Holy mackerel.
I completed it, and like you said, I challenged myself to do it. I never thought I could do it as an able-bodied, and to be able to do it as a hip disarticulation, they let me use my little therapy flipper, so I had that, and it was a challenge. Going out to the island, there were moments where it was like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to do this. But when I turned around the island and started heading home, and I knew that I need to speed up, and I'm going to, so I had that energy at the end to. When I tried to stand up at the end, that leg almost gave out. But I had support. The aquatic instructor down at the Y Center had brought my crutches out to me, and she gave me support, and I was able to get out. And the cool thing is I really didn't feel it the next day. It's not like I was exhausted the next day. So my training was good. You got to train better to swim straight. Oh, challenges, right? Challenges.
What was the biggest challenge of the whole lake swim for you? What did you think?
Believe it or not, getting in and getting out.
Oh, so not the actual work.
No, I knew I had trained well enough to be able to do it. Of course, I didn't realize that I was going to be that far off, but I had swam 1.5 miles before, so I knew that even if I was off course, I knew I was going to be able to complete it.
So that's interesting though, because that would not have been, my first thought, right? So maybe someone out there who is thinking about getting into the swimming thing and wanting to do lake stuff or ocean stuff.
Waves.
Waves. How did that affect you?
It wasn't too bad. It was windy that day, but the water was warm, and it really wasn't too windy. Not that I noticed, so I didn't have a problem.
My luck, I'd be swimming against the current.
The wind was coming from my left side, so I didn't really notice that much. I think it was because I was so focused on following everybody else, making sure I was on course and completing it.
So is there any way that we could tell these guys that would help you in and out of the water? It was nice that you had support there.
I went down and checked it out the year before, so I knew that starting off, we started the seawall, so I know I'd be able to start off easy, and the water was about thigh deep, so I knew I'd be able to start swimming. The end was at a beach, so about the last 30 yards or so, the able-bodies are all standing up and walking and running out. But I swam right up till I couldn't, I started, I couldn't do the freestyle anymore. I started doing the breaststroke, and then they're out there to assist me. I'm going, no, I just started crawling, and so I'm literally, I went beach belly, man. I'm telling you.
I was going to say, you're all scratched.
No, it was soft sand, not rocks. It was soft sand. And I just kept going. So when I finally stood up, the water was only about ankle deep. I was like, now I can use my crutches and get out of here. But I swam, I crawled, I completed, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, this was the first time that I'd ever gone down to watch the start of it or any portion of the. Yeah. I've been familiar with it, obviously, for not 97 years, but for quite some time. And it was very interesting, the number of people that literally sprinted. Yeah. That was, I found that very interesting.
I knew I wasn't going to be able to do that, so I talked to the staff about how are we going to get me out, and they basically said, we will make it happen.
I feel like you should just have to swim, not,
Well, yeah, it's 1.15 miles swim, but, some of them folks are probably running that 0.15 miles.
They ran quite a bit. I was intrigued. It seemed almost harder to run it than just to dive in and get going with your swimming.
What amazes me is how fast some of those true athletes, some of them were doing it in 20 minutes.
Sure.
And it's like, wow. But, they train for that. I train to complete it. Next year I'll be training to do better and then better.
Oh, for sure, And it's all timed, right?
Yep.
I mean, timed.
There's a little time. There's a little watch. Clock there at the end, and
did you have to have a little thing on time?
Because I did it in right about an hour. I expected about 45 minutes, but
well, you had an extra half a mile.
Yeah, that was the 15 minutes. So next year I'll be doing faster because I'm going to swim straight.
Yeah, if you swim straight, you cut your time down.
Well, they have these big floaty buoys, out there that they put up, and you saw them. And when I went down to watch it last year, I could have sworn the buoys were on the route out to the island. This year they were around the island. I'm thinking, all I got to do is get to the island and go around it. And so I'm going to tell them, can you put at least one buoy on the way out so I don't swim way over there?
That's right. Get way out of the way,
And we'll figure it out.
Huh. All right. Well, so to sum up, to tell these guys, what are your main key points of doing a lake swim? An actual, call it competitive. You was competitive with yourself.
Yeah,
but
that's
competitive
the key,
lake swim.
Find something that you can challenge yourself. Don't limit yourself just because you're an adaptive athlete. And my teammates, the people that I do sports with, they understand this. But if you're new to being adaptive, or if you want to train for something else, you don't have to swim. You could hand cycle bike or racing wheelchair, whatever, but find something that you think you'll enjoy. Find some way to challenge it. Even just swimming is great exercise, great workout. I just happen to say, if I'm going to train this distance, why not do something with it? Why not do the Go Quick Lake Swim?
For sure.
So I found a challenge, and I had the right training. I had the right people supporting me, and just being able to do it's one thing. Now could I stop there? I'm not going to. I'm getting better. I'm going to keep doing it.
I thought for a second you were talking about hand cycle bike, right? And I thought, he's going to take the hand cycle bike in the water for the...
Believe it or not, From where the lake swim is to my house, it's only about 3 miles.
Yeah. Oh, you can hand cycle bike to it.
And home.
Yeah.
That's my next challenge.
Ooh.
Except there are little hills, but it's like that's my next challenge because
I thought you were going to take it in the water though. Like
I'd have to get the big floaty tires.
Yeah, you need that.
But no, it's that's a heavy bike. It'd sink. I don't think I want to swim on the bottom or pedal on the bottom. So,
well, you just need a very long snorkel.
Or a tether, and I can go up and breathe in, but no.
All right.
But
so how do you give me a few points on training for this? How would these guys? What would you recommend?
I mean, it was only about 2 years ago where I realized through pool therapy that I could swim, and I was ecstatic to be able to swim 2 laps of a therapy pool, so 75 yards, and I just realized, you know what? I'm just going to keep going more and more and more, and obviously, since this is an open water swim, I had to get in the open water to train. Okay. Even if you want to do like a Paralympic sport, swimming, pool swimming, you can do that too. So you train in the pool. I'm still trying to figure out how to do a flip turn, but we'll get that figured out. So I did pool, but I also did cross train. I didn't just swim. I did other cardiovascular stuff.
Sure.
So, and obviously with your experience of training, that you cross train. So I did resistance training and I did other cardiovascular, including hand cycle bike, but that comes that eventually I'm training for a paratriathlon now. So I got to do more hand cycle bike, more racing wheelchair, and that's going to be the next goal beyond getting better in the swim.
So you're going to tell them strength train.
Oh, strength training. Resistance training.
Resistance training, weightlifting, whatever you're calling it. Do some extra cardio different than the actual just
cross
swimming.
Yep. And there's a lot of good ones out there that you can do.
Yeah, we're not going to limit you by any means.
Nope.
All right. And then I would say that you were probably meaning to say eat properly.
Nutrition.
You need to eat properly.
Because I had to figure out, because you had to show up about an hour and a half before you started. Just to get checked in. So it was like, okay, So it was like, okay, what am I going to eat that is going to sustain me? So, nutrition, proper nutrition. And of course, I used to run back in the day, so I know about carbohydrate loading and all that other stuff. But it's only a mile and a half. If I do a 3 mile swim, I'm going to have to eat different.
It changes everything, for sure.
Everything. But I hang out with the best trainer.
Strength training, cardiovascular.
Proper nutrition.
Cross training, make sure you're doing extra stuff, not to just focus on one thing, and eat appropriately. Now, again, of course, that every video online tells you to eat differently, but you have to somehow figure out.
Eat what works for you.
Yes, exactly. Figure out what is your approach.
You need some carbs for the energy, but you also need the proteins to sustain you.
Sure.
And of course, the most important, those are all important, but the fourth one that's most important, have fun. If it's not fun, you're not going to do it.
That's right.
Training is not, the training can be hard, but you still have fun. That for me, the fun is to challenge myself and do more and get better. But that's when I compete against myself. I make I make a joke that there are people in their 70s beating me and I want to beat them. Okay, but I have to improve myself. I have to challenge myself to get better.
That's right.
So, but
or wait until they get old enough that they can't go at your speed.
Well, that's why I figure I'm going to do at least 3 more for the 100th, but then I would still be able to do about 5 more after that to make their age, which isn't really accurate since I'm turning 39 in a couple of weeks.
Right, yes. 39 in a couple of weeks. That's awesome.
So that I've got 40 more years to do it.
Plenty of time. No rush at all.
No.
I remember when you were 39. I don't know if you're turning that maybe it is this year that you're turning 39.
Well, last year I was 40. Last year I turned 40 because if orange can be the new black, last year
you're going backwards.
I was regressive therapy.
There we go. All right, Benjamin Buttons.
Yeah, it works for me. Because I don't feel my age. There aren't a lot of people my age that are doing what I'm doing.
That's right.
Whether you're an amputee or not. So that's the fun part. That's the challenge that I always keep moving and grooving.
Moving and grooving. Well, and you were talking about having fun. And so we think the most fun thing that they can do is subscribe, because subscriptions are
free.
Free
But also,
subscriptions.
questions, comments, give us your thoughts. If you've done some swims, let me know. You can help me get better. Hopefully what we talked about may get you interested in swimming or make you a better swimmer. But still, that's my first one. So you guys can help me get better.
Sure, we can. It's a team approach.
Very much.
We do think that for sure somebody out there knows something more that we're talking about than we do.
I know it worked for me, but there are people out there that have been doing this a lot longer than me.
For sure.
And I can get smarter.
And then if we could all share this information, read the comments, look through, we'll answer them.
Definitely. If you got comments, we'll respond.
Of course. And just make everybody better.
Definitely. Yep. So,
all right.
Appreciate you folks. Subscribe, leave comments, share, like. Isn't there a bell?
Yes, there is a reminder bell so that every time a new video comes out,
and we're doing lots of videos because this is fun.
Oh, we're having a great time. It's always enjoyable.
Appreciate you folks. Thank you.
And if you felt like this was helpful in any way, shape, or form, surely subscribe.
Or if you just thought it was fun because we got fatigue and we got the dino.
T-Rex, dino, is that what we're going to call him now?
I don't know.
All right. We've got other ones. We've got other things too, yeah. I don't know that our table...
It's not like we're sitting on our dance.
But I don't know that the table's strong enough to hold Wildcat Willie. It's a pretty...
Well, if we held Wildcat Willie,
well, we couldn't hold him long. He's heavy.
Oh, then you can hold him.
That's right, he's heavy.
I need more.
Even with you sitting down, Wildcat Willie's pretty heavy.
Wildcat Willie is the mascot of Northern Michigan University, which is where Troy went. And the Wildcats, they're green and gold. They're not maize and blue. They're not,
We could set him on a chair, though.
You know what?
In front of us.
We should bring Wildcat Willie out sometime. Maybe our next video we'll bring him out.
Yeah, we'll move the table and put the...
we're going to be able to get him in a chair.
Oh, yeah, he'll fit.
We can put him in one of the rolling chairs, bring him out. You know what? We haven't done Wildcat Willie in one of our videos yet. We need Wildcat Willie.
That's right.
Sitting right there next to you.
He could sit next to you. All right, well, enough of that. We'll end it.
This is supposed to be a short video. What the heck happened?
This was a short video.
Yeah. Thanks, folks. Have fun.
Good times, good times.